Good morning, everyone. Thank you guys for being here, especially on such short notice. Appreciate you guys coming out and giving us a chance to tell our side of the story about the DL issues that the department has experienced here of late. And that's what this press conference is about this morning. We'll be talking about the DL situation and how it's impacted not only the citizens. If you have any questions afterwards, they'll hang around for a little bit to answer any questions you might have. Okay, at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Rhodes.
Good morning, and thank you for being here. Of course, I'm Commissioner Rusty Rhodes. It's R-U-S-T-Y-R-H-O-A-D-E-S. Again, I thank you for taking time, like Captain Timmons said, for us to let you guys know and let the public know what the issues at hand are. The tone of this press conference changed a little bit this morning, as you know. There was another shutdown issue with our computer systems, and I want to be very clear and make sure we get the right reasoning out for what has happened on that. That is in no way, shape, or form a Department of Public Safety issue. That is strictly a vendor issue that has shut us down, and I'm holding them absolutely accountable for these shortcomings in the past week and a half now. It was very disappointing to me. We thought the situation had been resolved last week. Then as they were attempting a changeover on servers in final resolution of last week, it happened again this morning. I've already been in conversation with OMES, the governor's office, and my general counsel to make a decision. Is this the proper path for us as we go through this modernization and real ID and driver's license issuance process? Is this the right group to handle this for us? The people of Oklahoma deserve better. The Department of Public Safety deserves better. OMES deserves better. So we are not going to sit back. I'm not going to sit back and continue to accept these shortcomings from the vendor. Historically, it's been a very positive relationship, but I will be calling the highest level of their leadership later on today and have this discussion. Again, I will no longer accept these shortcomings that affect the people of the state of Oklahoma and affect the Department of Public Safety. So having said that, I do want to talk about a little bit what happened last week, what happened today, and kind of the big picture of not only how we're resolving that issue, but how we are resolving the entire DL issue that we've seen recently. I do have a quick statement I want to make. Then I'll kind of get into our big picture process. So as you know, for the past week since the situation began, the Department of Public Safety has dedicated all its available resources to finding a solution to the problem. I will continue to personally monitor the progress and provide all manpower at our disposal until we get final resolution on this issue. DPS employees share the public's frustration and concern. We will work with the public to find temporary fixes on a case-by-case basis as we go until that permanent solution comes forward. The DL division and I have given the supervisors in that division wide latitude to utilize whatever resources they have available to them as they deal with our customers face-to-face throughout the state at these DL exam sites. I want to be very clear. I feel that sense of frustration. I expect a better service. We're obviously utilizing taxpayer dollars to provide this service. I expect more. Our employees expect more. So we will get to that point, rest assured. DPS is first and foremost a service agency. It is absolutely my top priority to improve our customer service. The situation we faced last week and the lessons we learned, particularly on notification to the media and to the public, were lessons learned. I think we unfortunately had the opportunity or the responsibility to push that information out again this morning. We were on top of it. We will continue to be on top of it. We will continue to push out notifications as we go through this process. And you know, all the employees of DPS have heard me say this in the 9 months since I've been Commissioner of Public Safety. The foundation of what I do, the decisions I make, and the way we serve the public, both on the Highway Patrol side and on the DPS administrative side, is solely rooted in the Golden Rule: treat others how we want to be treated. And when we do that as Oklahomans, it certainly mitigates and minimizes any situation that may come across our plates. Again, we learned some lessons primarily on the public information side, the media side. That's on me. We were so focused on fixing the problem that we that we weren't getting the information out timely. I think you guys saw this morning, that situation has already resolved itself. So big picture, as you guys know or may know, the department is going through a IT modernization project that goes hand in hand with Real ID. We couldn't have supported the requirements of Real ID with the archaic systems that we have now, and trust me, the systems we have now, IT systems, are truly archaic. I said it in the past, I said it yesterday, I'll say it today, and I'll say it tomorrow. We're flying a Wright Brothers plane in a jet engine world right now, but part of the modernization process that will come to true fruition or full fruition in April of 2020 in that range will resolve a lot of these issues we're dealing with now to get away from these archaic systems that we're dealing with. The reasonings for these things that we're dealing with now, we're not kidding anybody. We all know the state, the nation, has been in a economic downturn for the past several years, almost a full decade now. While I will never blame all the problems on finances, we're not kidding anybody. That has truly affected us. It affected us as individuals. It affected our families. It affected each and every person in this state and throughout the nation. We saw businesses shut down. We saw jobs lost. We saw state agencies suffer through the draconian, as they have been referred to, budget cuts. I will be going to the legislature with a request for a higher appropriation, but with that request is going to come a fully vetted strategic plan that will show not only the members of our legislature, the governor's office, and the people of the state what we're going to accomplish. It's going to show how we're going to accomplish it and how much it's going to cost to accomplish that. Once we come forth with that plan, it's going to be a 5-year plan to get our systems where they need to be. And I think once folks see that, they'll understand where we're coming from and what we're trying to accomplish. The other issue that I almost say I'm struggling with, I'm working through. The Department of Public Safety was created in the late 1930s. We're dealing now with decades worth of bureaucracy. I've related it to those Christmas lights that we have up in the attic. Every year we put those lights up there with good intention, but when we pull them down every year, they're a tangled mess. And every year we keep adding to those lights, and that mess becomes more tangled, that bureaucracy becomes more interwoven. So I've given a direction to our staff. I've actually created a team to bust through those walls, straighten those lines out, get them untangled once and for all. The lines we don't need, the rules we don't need, the processes we don't need, we're going to do away with. Now, there are some quick fixes that we're managing right now that we're seeing. One of those is getting more folks out to the field, more DL examiners out to the field to help with those long lines that we're dealing with. In that rationale is the quick fix on those bulbs. We're putting the bulb in so that whole line will work. But as we go through this process, like I said, we're going to strip it down to the core. The only rules and regulations and processes that I'm going to approve out of my office are ones that direct solely with public safety, protecting people's lives, and make the process more efficient and easier for the public to utilize and access. So once we pull that together, like I said, it's going to be a system that we can all be proud of. So, like I said, we'll get through that process. I also brought Jeff Hankins, the director of our DL division, and I know he has a couple things he wants to say, and he can talk about some of those finer points of what we're doing big picture-wise to resolve the issues that we're facing now. Jeff?
I want to reiterate what Commissioner Rhodes had talked about, and especially one of the things about customer service. Our examiners, that's one of our primary focuses, especially in our Examiner Academy that we have going on right now. We focus on customer service. Our examiners are doing a good job. They try every day, but they get frustrated sometimes, just like the public does. So, but we're going to emphasize better customer service to our people. We understand that the people are frustrated that they're having to wait 2 to 3 hours to get a driver's license or an ID card. And, you know, we're working on that. As Commissioner Rhodes said, we're trying to fill the positions that we have vacant right now. We're down quite a few people. We're supposed to have 112 examiners. We're down to 72 that's in the field right now. We have 11 that are in our academy right now, and hopefully this week they'll be finishing up and going out to help those field offices. So things are in the process of getting a little bit better, but we still need to fill some more of these positions, and we're working on that. And again, customer service is going to be our priority. It's always our priority, but we're going to focus on it even more. In the coming months, we're going to have in-services that focus strictly on customer service. And some of the other things that we're working on, technology-wise, is a mobile app and a computer program that will let the public look and see what the wait times are at our offices. And it'll also, if they don't have an appointment, once they get checked in, they can be given a time of when they can return. So they don't have to sit for 2 to 3 hours. They can get up, go home, go shopping, go get something to eat, and come back and still be in line and still get waited on. So we are working on things. We constantly strive to improve things. We've hit an area because of these the issues that we're looking at on being short-staffed. It's caused us some problems, but we're trying to work through that as best we can. And one of the things that I want to emphasize to the public is that we have an online appointment system. It stays full most of the time, but a person that has an appointment can be waited on usually within 15 to 30 minutes as long as there's no issues. So we want to emphasize that that's the best way to go, is to look at that appointment calendar and try to make an appointment that way. And to expect a long wait if you don't have an appointment, most of our larger offices in Oklahoma City and Tulsa right now are looking at a 2 to 3 hour wait time. So just be patient. They need to go to the DPS website to look at our itinerary to see the office hours, and anytime we have a closing or a reduction in service, we're posting that on there as soon as we're aware of it. And also they need to look at our DPS website to see what they need to bring before they come to the office. It's frustrating for us and it's frustrating for the public if they get up to the counter finally after waiting so long and they don't have what they need and we have to turn them away. So please, look at that, check it out, see what they need to bring, and hopefully that'll make the process a little bit smoother. So.
Yeah, and I'll answer questions here in a second, and Director Hankins brought up a point that I really want to strike on. I would submit that throughout history, very few state agencies have considered the folks that they are serving as customers. That's exactly what we're doing. If someone's paying for a product and expecting a service, they're a customer. So we're changing that culture inside that division and within the agency. I've already had contact with some folks with major corporations that are either officed or based here in Oklahoma to bring in some training, customer service training. These are folks and companies that are recognized nationally for their customer service. They're not successful because they don't treat people in a great way. My expectation is we treat people in a great way. And so in partnership with these corporate sponsors, if you will, we will be providing training to our staff from me down to our newest employee, from the experts in that customer service arena to ensure we're providing that service in the way that Oklahomans expect. So having said that, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Who's the vendor?
I'm sorry, the question was who's the vendor? It's IDEMIA is the vendor.
So this is a vendor you've had for a long time, right? And it's just now when you're modernizing everything that the problems are starting?
And I'll let Director Hankins answer that question. He's dealt with them much longer than I have. I've been here 9 months now, but the question being, is that a vendor we've dealt with a long time?
We've been with this company since a little before 2003, when we first went to our first digital driver's license. They've changed names over the years, but it's basically the same company. The issue that we've had this time, last week, and Commissioner Rhodes talked about this yesterday in Tulsa, it was the perfect storm. We had because of the storms, it caused a power failure. And right in the middle of that, in Boston, the company was doing their overnight updates, and so right at the same time it hung up the system. They couldn't move forward, they couldn't move backwards, so it all just happened at once. And then it took a long time. They had to rebuild the servers and took a while to get back up. But we have been dealing with this company, or working with this company, since 2003.
Was it the same issue then today or a different issue?
Today?
Yeah.
Basically the same issue, if I understood it right. It was basically the same issue. They were trying to and I'm not going to get too technical because I don't understand the technical side of it, but they were trying to switch back from, last week they switched from the primary to the secondary. They were trying to switch it back, and it failed. So they're working to correct that. We had a conference call at 9 o'clock with them, and the issues we had this morning have been resolved. We had a report from Tulsa, one of the stations up there, that they'd called one of our offices, and they said we were still down. All of our offices and tag offices are back up working right now.
Can you describe exactly what services were affected? Are we talking about, so we're talking about renewals of tag agents?
All issuance of driver's license and ID cards, originals, renewals, and replacements.
And can you give me an average of how many customers a day that you serve doing that?
Total issuance between the DPS driver's license office and the tag agencies, we issue roughly 1.5 million cards a year. So whatever the math is on that, but in our DPS offices, we average about around 440,000 transactions per year.
And this all includes CDL licenses?
Yes, every license and ID card.
What about people's information? Is that all still safe?
You want to address that?
People's information is still totally safe. We have been in conversation with OMES that oversees all of our IT systems. I think we all know they're recognized nationally for their security and safety systems. We've been absolutely assured. We know there's been no public information or private information lost through this process.
And do you know, is this like a recurring contract with this company? Like 5 years plus yearly option, or however that works?
It is a recurring contract, and that's why I've been visiting with my general counsel, and we'll continue to visit with our staff and OMES staff. Again, I'm not going to tolerate this. We deserve better than this, and we're going to get it. Any other questions? All right, I see none. Thank you for your time. I'd certainly be more than happy. Yeah, I think Director Hankins had one more thing.
I forgot to mention this, again, back on customer service. One of the things that we're doing right now, because of the last week's outage that we have, and again this morning, we were given permission to offer our examiners to the ability to work overtime shifts to help the public, and we had a lot of examiners volunteer. Our examiners want to do a good job. They want to help the public, and they're willing to stay, working extra hours to be able to process these people. And it's been a plus for us and a plus for the public. Over the last 3 days, I don't have the numbers from yesterday, but we've helped process well over 700 people after our normal business hours in the last 4 days. That was our goal, to try to do what we could to help because of this outage. So again, we've processed almost, I think as of yesterday, almost up to 900 people that we were able to process after hours. So, and one office alone up in Tulsa did over 80. So that's really good, and I think the public, sees that we're trying to help them and do what we can. So.
Well, there's no more questions. I'd be certainly happy to meet with anybody after this, but thank you again for your time. Thank you for helping us get our message out.